Hey Ashley, what's up CDP? What's up Rainy Bow? CDP, Ashley, I hope you all are doing well. You all, I'm just coming in. I have been watching the news and it seems like more information has leaked out about Jeffrey Epstein and Miss Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the emails have come out. A lot of stuff has been mentioned about Bill Clinton and how things are framed. Um, let me say this, you all. I am going to be. I always look at different news sources. Hey, Ebony, but I'm looking at news sources very closely. I do you not know that these wealthy people even have a slant on the media and what media will print. Also, too, the guy who is alleged to have had a relationship, whatever kind of relationship that is, with Jeffrey Epstein, Wexler, he was, I heard, pushing a lot of Jewish propaganda. And so he even had a group that did that. You all, I just want you to be very careful these days on even how you look at the media, because a lot of stuff they are saying but not saying. And if you think that Jeffrey Epstein committed uh, taking his own life, I beg to differ. And when you have another person to come in and do the autopsy, an independent autopsy, and find out that this person had blunt trauma, and I truly believe somebody took that man out. No one, look, I know that that jail is understaffed. I know that things happen in jail, but you can't tell me that man did that. I find it hard to believe. I truly believe because he extorted so many people and that he blackmailed so many people, he actually got money from these people. The people who were doing interviews said he knew nothing about money. He was just a good talker. He learned quickly. He learned quickly, and but he had a charm. He could get people to do things that he wanted them to do, and that's how I believe he got a lot of his money, because he had none. And then all of a sudden, from a mathematics teacher at a private school to this, really interesting. So, also now, you all, we are seeing too that there were more things going on January 6th, where a lot of people would have died, because now they're showing the police in the chambers and they were willing to let people have it. And I think that's interesting as well. And I cannot believe that people are allowing Trump to say that he will pardon those people if he's elected. The people who actually tried to stop a democratic process. You all, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at some of the people who are supporting this man, and it's crazy. And I don't know what's going on with the Supreme Court justice. All eyes are on them. But you even have Trump's lawyers now saying that they went through hell to get a lot of these people their seats. And it's almost a quid pro quo. I did this for you. You need to do this for me. And I want you all to really pay attention to this kind of stuff. And again, I don't have anything against roasting, gagging, and all of that stuff. But this stuff is really affecting who we are, us as a people. And I think we really need to be looking at these things and seeing how justice work for those with money. This is why criminal justice reform need to take place. You know, if you have money, you can get out on cash bail. How many people who were been put in jail and then they found to be innocent, but their lives are ruined now because they couldn't bail out. And not being able to bail out means they miss work. If they miss work, they get fired from their jobs. And let me tell you something. People start using this, and again, this is propaganda, and I'm just bringing this to your attention. You all remember when people was talking about the purge because they letting people out of jail and everything, and they were talking about this. What's up, Jay Parrish? They were talking about this, but see, people don't understand that it was no purge. What people are saying is that people should be able to get out without this cash bail system because if they're not a flight risk, then they should be coming back for their court date, which most people are going to do. A lot of people, again, have been found innocent and been held in jail, but they're innocent because of some foolishness, and it's cause of cash bail. Wealthy people can bail out, no problem. So I think we need to look at this justice system because after looking at this Trump situation, after looking at this Jeffrey Epstein situation, it goes to show you that justice is not equal. It's equal when you have money. It's okay when you got money, but it is definitely tilting on the side of the wealthy. And it ain't a rich against poor. It's just equality and being fair. And I just can't believe that this man who was convicted as a pedo can get out, do all of this stuff, but yet you got people in Florida. Now, he lived in the state of Florida. Hold on, you all. Okay, y'all, I'm back. It's also why some major cities have gotten rid of holding people for misfit. Yes, I'm reading out comments. Basically, if you have money, yeah, that's what they're saying. If you have money, you can do this. But you all, let me say this too. Just Jeffrey Epstein thing has really opened the lid that wealthy people have no right to try to talk down to people who may not have the same wealth or low wealth. I think it's terrible that these people knowingly attached themselves to this man, knowing what he was doing. And now everybody wants to scatter like roaches when the list and all of this stuff is coming out. And I want to know too why people are really trying to deny that they've been on that island. Now, everybody went on that island for sexual activities. Some people were on that island because they wanted money from Epstein or wanted to invest. But I find it very strange what's going on. And the sad part about it is, even in death, this man is getting ready to rock the house because, again, there are lists, there are flight logs, there are everything. And these people are going to really verify, especially the victims, of what has happened. And I think a lot of people are scared of that. And again, this is why I think Epstein is no longer with us because he knew too much. And you can't extort people and think you're going to live. And see, this is the thing. You can do all of that extorting, but just like you got power and influence, other people have power and influence as well. And I think, again, that's how he got a lot of his money. What's up? There's no excuse for anyone dealing with Epstein at all, knowing what he was doing. And everybody, let me say where I know what people know what he was doing, because his employees felt bad. The employees thought it was strange that these young girls was at his house and what was going on. They knew, if you've been into his house, that's the thing. He never changed the decor of his house. Did people not see the decor of his house and what was going on? And they just thought it was cool. And I'm being real about this. And this is why I think we need to be very careful of how we are looking at people, and how people got to where they are. Because even Ghislaine Maxwell's dad had a really checkered past. And a lot of these people, um, look, they even asked Epstein the question, have you ever been, in a situation where you were SA'd? And he laughed it off. But it was a serious question, because something had to trigger that. Something had to happen with that, you all. Yeah. They say there are billionaires, private islands. Like, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of things going on. So you all, the Epstein case has been big, is really big, and even in his death. And Maxwell, unfortunately, she's left holding the bag. And he put all of his money in a trust in the Virgin Islands. He even he even screwed his lawyers. The lawyers that were working for him, he even screwed the lawyers. They can't even get their money because he put his money somewhere where they can't get it. And I just think that goes to show you, even in death, this person was just horrible. And also, they said that when he started running that man's company, they were saying that he would fly in the face of executives and people, and they said Wexler never gave up his power like that. But with this man, he was giving up his power. Um, uh, Trust me, Victoria's Secrets had an issue with him, because it is alleged in that documentary that he took advantage of a young lady because she wanted to be a Victoria's Secret model, and that's how he lured her in. And Victoria's Secrets had to deal with a lot of his foolishness as well. Somebody said Oprah, Jay-Z, and Beyonce billionaire status always been a mystery. Where did? Let me say this, you all. I think people be doing stuff. And what's really interesting is Epstein had a temple type edifice on the island. It's set at the highest point of the island. And a lot of people believe that a lot of ritualistic stuff went on there as well. So look, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Well, they do, but he's making sure they can't get any more money. So he put all that money, in a account, offshore account. So yeah, yeah. What else is going on, you all? I actually spoke on the William Murphy thing, and I have my um thoughts about William Murphy. How people decide to worship, whether you like it or not, is their business. And I just think that people are doing the most. And again, with people's salvation, we need to stop questioning people's salvation. We don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in, and I think we need to kind of stop that as well. So, yeah, it's a lot of things going on, y'all. But what else is happening? I just wanted to come on because It was in the morning. I said, let me come on. Well, in the afternoon, I said, let me come on before, we start running, ripping and running. But yeah, yeah. Now, a lot of you all have told me that I need to um, put things in my uh, description box of what I'm talking about, and I might do that. But y'all, let me say this: I'm at a point now where I don't. Some people want notoriety, some people want fame, some people want that, and I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And if people find me, they'll find me. You all can hit the like and share, and we'll do what we got to do. Nothing wrong with Murphy having folks walk it out. It's about what's in your heart. Scooter High, you can't tell these people that. Now I'm wondering, did Scientology come from Epstein? No, Scientology came from E. Ron Hubbard, and he's another interesting individual. When people are greedy, that's a gift to grifters. So easy to run a play on them. Check out oldest one in the book. Yeah, let me say this too, and I know I'm mixing some things up, but I think this Epstein thing, you can learn from this. Um, he was very charming, and people would do things for him, and I think that's a problem. And I think we do not verify, and this is the part that gets me. If Jeffrey Epstein would have been black, I don't care how brilliant he was, they would have fired him. They would have fired him. But knowing that he lied to get the job, they still kept him. And the man who kept him now has regrets. But he made all of that money for y'all, but now y'all have regrets. And they have regrets because he met a billionaire and pretty much duped that billionaire out of his money. And let me say this: let's stop cozying up with people because they have a lot of money or influence, because we don't know what these people are doing. And I think that's a big thing. These women went to the home, they saw this big house, and they were like, oh, this is awesome. And and he knows people, and what he was doing was wrong, but they act like it was normal. They said it felt almost normal. And I think people really need to kind of look at that kind of stuff. I mean, they said that Ghislaine Maxwell was very outgoing, very extrovert, had that British accent, and could just convince people and persuade people. And they did this, and I truly believe that his whole fortune was made off of cheating people, because we learn in the documentary that it was a Ponzi scheme to get people's money. And the guy who did the Ponzi scheme covered for Epstein so he wouldn't go to jail. And I just think these things are interesting. Subscribers, again, I'm telling you all, be careful of some of these content creators. Are all content creators bad? No. There are some really good content creators who just want to make content. Now, am I telling you all? What's up, Melissa Scott, New Era Kang? Am I telling you all that you shouldn't give to content creators? No. You do what you want to do, but do not give money because you want to be close to a content creator. If you're going to do something for a content creator, do it because you like the entertainment or you like the topics that they're talking about. But how many people have we seen on the YouTube streets give money to people to get close to them? And what has happened to these people? I'm telling you all, you got to be so careful. I've met Melissa Scott. I have met Rainy Bo. I've met a lot of people that are on here due to the cruise, but they can tell you that we were cool. I had a good time, but at no time did I require any honorarium for them. At no time did I ask them for money. At no time did I say, if you want to hang with me, you got to do this. No, we ate together. We had fun, fellowship, and that is it. And I bring up Melissa Scott and I bring up Rainy Bo because I hung with them a great deal. But never did I ask Melissa, what do you do, Melissa? Who you dating, Melissa? you know, uh, uh, you know, I was not in Melissa's business, nor was I in Rainy Bo's business. Now, Rainy Bo told me some things, but let me tell you what Rainy Bo told me without telling you all. Rainy Bo told me that I had inspired her to do some things, and she did those things. And it was like a thank you, and I felt honor. And that's when I said, I know I can make people laugh, but I shouldn't, I'm like, we got to do better because again, there are a lot of people who are listening to us, even as smaller content creators. And, you know, yeah, I said we got to do something differently. And we had a good time. But again, I'm not trying to take advantage of the people who are with me. And that means I'm not trying to take advantage of them financially. I'm not trying to take advantage of them mentally. I'm not trying to control them. And I think that is critical, you all. And I'm saying this because we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, but there are a lot of predators on these YouTube streets. And every predator doesn't deal with SA. A lot of predators will, let me tell you, I was looking at the Epstein thing, and a lot of those girls were psychologically damaged. A lot of these girls came from broken homes. And Jeffrey Epstein knew this. As Maxwell knew this, and they used that against them. And I think we need to be very careful with how we self-disclose. And I think that self-disclosure is okay, but in time comes trust. And I think that we need to be very careful with that because everybody is not looking at our best interest or trying to help us out. Some people are trying to help themselves out. And I'm going to say this. If Jeffrey Epstein could extort people, which I think he did, and the reason why I say I think he did is because during those last clips, hey, Cat Ashley, during those last clips, that girl, he took her to a room. And in that room, he had cameras in every one of his rooms. And she was mortified because she said, could this man be in here taping me using the bathroom or taping me in my intimate moments? And this is where I think the extortion comes from. Not only in that house, but on St. John's Island, one of the ladies was getting ready to dive and swim to land to get away. And here comes Epstein. You know why? Because he had cameras positioned everywhere on that island. And we know that information and knowledge is power. And it's how you use your power And a lot of people are not using their power in the right way. A lot of the people using power to hurt other people, using power to extort people. A lot of the girls said they felt a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. And that's what people who are in those situations do. And I'm only saying this again because in 2024, you all need to be careful. Be careful how people try to slant other people and frame other people, and how they try to, manipulate and make a story out of things, because people do that. And I think, looking at this Epstein thing, he was even mentioning, did you all mention anything about Bill Clinton and all of this stuff? Because obviously this man knows some or knew something about Clinton. And for the mere fact that Maxwell denied that Clinton was on the island, but you have workers verifying that he was on the island, and you have um, airport documents, mileage records stating that he was on the island, we know something is wrong. So I want to bring that on out. So you all just be careful. And I say that it's for 2024, be careful. Another thing too, you gotta keep moving on. And again, people are gonna say things. You go through hard times, you go through difficult times, but you keep on moving on and know who you are. Always know self, always know self. And if you're gonna reinvent yourself being true to who you are and for the better, not to um not to fool or trick people, not to doing those things. I just think that that's it. Year of exposure. You know, I was looking at this Cat Williams thing too, and now Trick Daddy done got into it. And I guess Trick Daddy is mad because Trick Daddy, I guess Cat Williams said if Trick Daddy can own a restaurant, and it kind of rubbed Trick Daddy the wrong way. But I'm gonna say this: Trick Daddy, keep on cooking your food and keep on running your restaurant and let this man talk. Um, you know, I think Cat is doing what he's doing. I think Cat is doing this for a reason. Um, any publicity is better than none. And Cat has set off a big chain reaction because, again, it's almost 16 million people who've seen this and counting. And a lot of people feel that they must respond to this. And again, Ricky Smiley to me had the best response. I'm not going to lie. I like Ricky's response. But I think Steve Harvey, no response is the best response, because sometimes it's no need to respond to everything that's going out there. Sometimes you just work what you do and do what you need to do and let folk talk. But sometimes no response is better than any response that you can give. And I think sometimes we have to figure that out, because we always want to tell people how we feel. And I'm going to let y'all know, I'm going to give y'all a piece of my mind. And sometimes it's not even necessary, because that's what people crave. And sometimes you just got to deny people that satisfaction. And that's the real. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Trick Daddy had a lot to say. I just, I, I think people are standing up with people and standing up for people, because I like this person. And sometimes, you know, people can cause issues. I see as I see Cat in telling the truth, but there's some side of Cat that is disappointed about how people treat people. and I get it. And so he's doing what he's doing. But yeah, yeah. But you all got to watch these media slants. Even with that, you know, Shannon Sharp is the real winner. Let me tell you, Shannon Sharp is the real winner in this, though. Out of all of this stuff, Shannon Sharp is the real winner. Shannon Sharp has had most of those people on his show. He allowed Cat to say what he needed to say. Shannon said, if you want hard hitting follow up questions, go watch 60 Minutes. Go watch 60 Minutes. But Shannon Sharp allowed that man to talk. And then people wanted to kind of have Shannon curtail the conversation. And Shannon didn't do that. Yeah, Club Shay Shay. He didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. He didn't do that at all. And I think that what he did, let that person really spill it all out, that's what the people wanted. And he has 15 million people in climbing who watch this, which is going to put him in a whole nother area. People are going to go to Club Shay Shay now to get it off their chest. And I don't blame them. And it is what it is. But he's the real winner. Um, yeah, he's the real winner, you all. He is the real winner. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Go sit down. Lyric. Mark Curry confirmed about still, yeah, corruption. Let me say this. I believe that Cat is not a liar. I believe that. I believe Cat is not a liar. I truly believe that. Um, I believe that. However, let me say this. Mark Curry already talked about the Steve Harvey situation, and Mark Curry didn't think it was cool. And see, that's the thing. A lot of people feel that, oh, you know, you can take these jokes. It's plagiarism. It's called intellectual property. And at least attribute something to somebody. But that's what people do, you all. People take people's stories that's not theirs and they'll write a book about it, you know. And I just think that Cat is just calling it out. I ain't mad at Cat. I just think that Cat has said what he need to say, and yeah. But see, people get mad at folk like Cat, but see, they get mad at people like Monique. And again, I truly believe Monique. I truly believe Monique, and it really just pissed me off when Lunel is going to get up there and say it was Monique's approach and how she didn't know Lunel. No, Lunel, it's not Monique's approach. Monique didn't do anything wrong except say no. And then when she felt that she was blackballed, she said what she said. Now, Monique, could she have handled that comedy situation better? I think she could have, but you can't tell people how to be mad either. And again, Lunel, I just disagree with you. I think Monique told the truth. And of course, the truth came back up with Taraji P. Henson. And everything that Monique was saying, Taraji is saying pretty much the same thing. about the money ain't right. They don't want to pay. I mean, first of all, Monique gonna have to pay to go over to France to push this movie where she ain't getting no money, no new contract. Taraji is saying, you mean we gonna have to drive or rent a car to the place? Y'all can't have a car to come pick us up? I mean, what is going on with that? Taraji has been saying, can I get a trailer without having bugs in it? And I just think that, hey, Kimmy, I just think that that's what the deal is, you all. So yeah, Taraji will be on tonight. Yes. Well, like I said, Kimmy girl, they said you setting all the girls up in the beef sector these days. I'm like, how is Kimmy setting all the girls up in the beef sector? Uh, Kimmy got a whole husband. How's she doing all of this? Lord Jesus, I just, Kimmy, I'm laughing because some things ain't even worth it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just something else. So yeah, I guess I'll be watching on tonight. Well, I thought that was much, but the whole situation, I can understand it. I can understand it. But I don't agree with Lunel and her approach. I don't agree with it. And again, we've known Netflix to cheat people out of money as well. So Shadi said she was setting up the girls Creole butterfly. But we all look. It's funny because when Kimmy, Shelley, and I were, collaborating on, different things, being on the Christmas tree challenge or the home interior challenge or whatever challenge that we done had, the singing challenge, we've always been conspiring against each other. People can't be cool. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, you all, what else is happening, y'all? Because I just came on to say what I said, and we'll be talking about different topics because I think that at the end of the day, it's okay to be funny. It's okay to be humorous. It's okay to roast and gag and do what you gotta do. But we got some real world issues coming down the pipe. And I think that we really need to focus on these things. Let me say this. Let me say this. Going back to the Epstein situation, nobody wanted to tell it. Everybody was afraid. And there are things at churches and even people's families. I keep on hearing comedians mention that uncle who hugged you too long. That's a problem. And I think that we need to start calling stuff out. And we, as not all Black people, but a great deal of us, are taught that you respect people and you don't say anything to these people. And my thing is, we cut communication off, so when something do happens, our kids are afraid to say something to us because this is a grown person, or and I think we need to change some of our thinking patterns because I think a lot of our children get hurt because we idolize these people. Let's go back to that church situation again. I don't care who you are, if a pastor or a missionary or a deacon or anybody do something that is inappropriate, you need to tell it. You need to tell it. It's just that simple. And I just think that parents need to believe what their kids are saying. And I'm being real about that because we can look at the Jeffrey Epstein thing, but some people got that in their own family, and it's traumatizing your kids. One thing I learned about these young ladies were that they had trauma. Something happened to them, and I think that if your child grades going down and they were good, y'all need to investigate that. You need to find out why. Wow, Creole Butterfly, that is deep. See, Creole Butterfly, it's stuff like that. And y'all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No child, male or female, needs to go through anything like that. And Creole, I feel so sorry for you. My heart goes out to you, and I hope that you have healed, and I hope you're helping other people. But see, you all, this stuff is real. See, this is real stuff. And we can sit here and roast and gag and stuff, but there are people with some real issues here. And Creole, that, that's deep. And then people don't believe you. And then how is it with your fault? How is it a child's fault? That gets me. How is it a child's fault? And let's say if the child was flirty, hypothetically, shouldn't a grown, sensible person know better? And I just think that that's a problem. And I'm not even saying that a child would even do that, but it means that if you do it, something is wrong with you. And this is what bothered me with them calling those little girls prostitutes. Those girls were not prostitutes, they were trafficked. Those girls did not go out to do this, they were trafficked. They were said they were going to do a massage. And my thing is, these were teenage girls, these were not adult women. And again, they were not of the age of consent. Well, I'm happy to hear that, Creole. Let me say, Lock and Lovely, some people are not healed. And let me say, it may affect folks' relationships and how they view men. And I'm not saying all men are bad. I mean, but you got to realize that women do this as well. It's not only men. And let me say this, if women can get SA'd, so can men. And I think that this is the problem. I think that that teacher who was dating that boy, I'm like, that's just as worse as a man who is 30 dating somebody who's 14. And see, I don't see it as male female, I see it as a grown adult taking advantage of somebody who's naive and don't know any better. And that's how I see it. And I think we need to really stop this patriarchy, and call it what it is. you know yeah. Oh yeah, y'all, it's terrible out there, and we don't talk about this stuff in the black community. We really put it on the hush hush. This is why I was so upset with the Larry Reed situation, um because if this person was really groomed and assaulted, then you should really vehemently go after the person who did it. And it's against the law. It's not right. And that's why I was saying, if these people really did this stuff, then it's a problem. Because it's one thing when you're underage, but no is no. I'm not interested is I'm not interested. And that's the truth. Now, who is Pastor Pretlow? Yeah, y'all, look, I'm so serious about this. I think that we as a people suffer. And the sad part about it is a lot of us won't go to therapy. A lot of us won't see a therapist. And I think it's sad. I was very happy when Rico said he was going to therapy, because I think he's really going to come out stronger, and I think it's going to change his outlook. A lot of people don't do any better because they've been so beaten and battered, and people have used them, and people think that folk are hanging with them for the right reasons, only to get something from them, always to get something from them. And again, people will have that outlook. So I'm glad that he is getting the therapy, because I think it's critical. Your mental health is just as critical as your physical health. And I think that that's where the balance comes in. In my life, most of the women excuse, condone. I haven't talked to my mother in 4 months because she's the of my trauma and won't talk to me about it. Wow. Well, Locked and Lovely, work on you, because I guarantee you it's a cycle. I think it's a cycle. And and like I said, this Jeffrey Epstein thing, I think something happened to Jeffrey Epstein and it kept cycling. And it's a cycle. And hurt people really do hurt people. Hurt people really hurt people. And I truly believe that. So this is why I think that it is important to do the work for yourself. And I hope other people get but you gotta put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Wow, Catherine. That's odd. That's odd. That is odd. Yeah. See, it's a lot of things going on, you all. You gotta be watchful. And I am not saying that you can't be friendly, you can't talk to people, but I just think that you have to have in the back of your mind, what is this about? So yeah. Wow. I'm sad to hear all of this stuff, because they are victims right in here. There are people who've gone through a lot. And I'm gonna say this: if you are a victim of SA harassment, or a battery, or anything like that, first of all, go talk to somebody about it. And I'm not talking about a pastor. I'm talking about a professional. I'm talking about a person who can walk you through this so you can make sense of this. Get that help. And, you know, because I think it's really critical. And I've said this, I believe that a lot of people have not dealt with their childhood trauma, and it is manifesting in their adult lives. And and I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And we all have stuff. But my thing is, self-awareness is the first thing. Some people are not even self-aware. They've compartmentalized things and they put things away, but it's still there. And I just think that recognizing it is really critical. Creole Butterfly said, I have a great therapist. It's necessary. Yeah. And again, y'all, this ain't roasting and gagging nobody. And like I said, I'm not saying that that's a good or bad thing, but we're in a season where a lot of stuff is happening, y'all, and we gotta be on it. We gotta be on it. And at some point in time, you have to evolve and say, okay, I had my fun now. It's time to do some serious things and talk about some serious issues. Yeah. Scooter high, I mean, even the trauma. Let me say this. Let's say if you never had an issue in your family, living in America, you need therapy. Dealing with the micro aggressions and all of this stuff, and uh how people do certain things. And I think you really have to unpack some things. I really feel like you have to. I really feel like you have to. So this Jeffrey Epstein thing has really said a lot. The criminal justice system is not equal. It is really not equal. If you have the money, you can pretty much do almost anything you want to. Uh, Jeffrey Epstein was in the pockets of a lot of people. And I just thought that was interesting. A lot of his victims were already victimized, and he used things and their hurt and pain to lure them in, only to just re-traumatize them again. And I just think we need to look at that kind of stuff. I look at some content creators. I'm like, oof, somebody needs to go on the couch, because it's a lot of people out there who are really hurting. So, yeah. Well, look, you all, I will probably be on tomorrow. I just wanted to come on, and I am glad that some of you all shared your stories. I'm really sad that that happened to you, but I'm glad that you're getting the help that you need. If you're going through trauma, if you told somebody and they blamed you, I'm gonna tell you what, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. Please go seek some therapy. Please go seek some counseling from a licensed, certified professional. And I say that because everybody you don't need to be telling your business to. We see what happens when folk get your business. It becomes content. Yes, Scooter High, all of those things we have to really deal with, because our we don't have sympathy or empathy for our black folk, black kids and how they're seen, black boys and how they're treated. It's not good. It's not good at all. It's not good, and we need to address those things. So, yeah. Well, look, y'all. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate your time. Keep me in prayer as, like I said, I do some new things with the channel. We're gonna be funny, you all, but right now at the beginning of the year, it's a lot of things going on. But what I want you all to do for me is I really want you all to tell people that their vote is important, and they do need to get out and vote, because it's going to be critical this year. And I want us to be conscious. I want us to help each other out when we get information that could be beneficial to everyone, to share that, to try to bring everybody up. Now, I'm not trying to make this a kumbaya. Sometimes we gonna deal with tough issues, and folk may not like me that day. But at the end of the day, I think we need to talk about things that folk are not talking about. Um, Help people out. There are a lot of people who are trying to get their education. There are a lot of people who are going through a lot of things, and we really need to talk about things that are really going to impact our community. And I just think it's important. So, yeah, yeah. And I think we need to. And like I said, we don't agree on everything, but you got to be sensible, and you got to hear people out. You really have to hear people out, whether you agree with them or not, and have civil conversation. Now, let me say this, y'all. I'm not ecstatic about Joe Biden. I'm not, but I must admit that in the recession and inflation didn't happen like we thought it was. Obviously, he did some things to help that. I think he was trying to tout his accomplishments, and he's done a lot. I do think it's overshadowed by ageism, but he's done a lot. But I can tolerate a Biden. I cannot tolerate a Trump. We see what this man is capable of. This man told us what he's going to do on the first day. And I just think that our democracy is at stake. I'm looking at the Supreme Court justice. We can't even trust them anymore. I mean, it's crazy. So this is why I tell y'all: get your passports. Some of y'all might need to take a trip outside of the country. Get your passports, baby. Get your passports. That's all I gotta say. You never know what will happen. It is my prayer that Biden is elected again. That's my prayer. Oh Lord, y'all, they talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. That was another traumatic case with this Gypsy Rose situation, baby. Gypsy Rose is out. Poor Gypsy Rose. That lady had that girl acting like she was uh that she was physically challenged and sick for her benefit. And Gypsy Rose finally took her out, and now she's out. Oh, let me say this to y'all. I went and checked that alien thing out. I can't get with it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I heard 50 folk was down at the Bayside Market acting crazy because I know how they can get in Miami acting crazy down at the Bayside. And I don't believe no aliens came in there. I don't, I ain't see one. Somebody said it was a shadow alien at the door and all this stuff. Okay. I ain't see it. I ain't see it. I just think some people was cutting up, and then people down at that Bayside said, "No, ma'am, not today, not today." And they called, and just because you see all them police officers, I bet you half the folk were black and Hispanic. Cause you know, for us, they gonna send a whole lot of people out there, and y'all got to understand, Bayside Market is downtown Miami, not too far from the Brickell district, the most the most expensive property almost in Miami, and baby, they was not gonna have that. They was not gonna have that. So Rainy Bowl, somebody said that it was six shadow aliens, and the people was fighting and stuff. Girl, it was, and all the police was there. So I looked at that thing. I'm like, okay, I don't see no aliens. But I know y'all. I know these people think y'all illegals up here acting crazy at this Bayside Market, and I know the $1 million condos people ain't gonna have it. Now I know Bayside Market, and them people ain't gonna have it. So that's what I'm gonna say on that. Cause somebody was telling me about that. I'm like, what? Aliens? I went on over there. I'm like, dang, this folk cutting up. And yes, it was a lot of police officers there. But y'all got to realize in this climate, folk ain't taking no chances. Y'all, we are in a climate where um, there are a lot of soft targets in America. And I'm going to say this, when y'all going to these concerts, you all need to be checking your exits. When y'all go to church, I'm surprised that churches don't even have plans now where, for safety. I'm surprised every church should have a safety plan. I'm sorry. Every church should have a safety plan if there is an active shooter. They should have a safety plan. They should. Every school should have a safety plan. Y'all, I don't even go to the movies anymore unless I know where the emergency exits are and how I'm going to get out or something. And I know that's sad, but even at the movie theater, you got to know. And I don't like going in places where there are large crowds anymore. I mean, every once in a while, but you got to be careful. At the mall, my eyes are scanning. Do you hear me? At the mall, I'm looking at everything. If some seem off, I'm out. I'm just being real because we live in a time like that now. And so it's nothing to see a 50 group police officers because again, you don't know what's going on. Yeah, Scooter, how y'all better have one. Yeah, Rainbow, you got to let me say this. Ever since that young man went into that movie theater in Colorado and did all of that foolishness at a movie theater. So I don't put nothing past people anymore. Period. Period. Well, I know that. So I look now that church in Fort Worth. They thought they were gonna get crazy. That usher had an old nasty piece of steel. Okay, he had a piece made of steel, and it stopped that right away. But I just think that a lot of churches have a lot of churches have peace officers, and they go to church, and a lot of churches, let the peace officers know. Let me tell y'all what happened in San Antonio, baby. Let me say this. I think that there may be other beings, but I just don't think they showed up at Bayside Mall. I just don't think they showed up at Bayside Mall. Okay, I just I can see the alien. Okay, where we gonna go tonight? We gonna go to the Bayside Mall. It's New Year's Eve. Okay, now we gonna skip the Times Square. We gonna skip LA. We gonna skip London. We gonna skip Paris. We gonna go on down there to the Bayside Mall in Miami and do a little shopping. That's all I'm saying. What's up, S. Hutchinson? So, look, y'all, let me tell y'all what happened in San Antonio. Let me tell you what happened in San Antonio now. I know somebody, and they were having church, and somebody got out the car and shot up this van. The children and the wife got out the van safely. But the person who was driving the van, that's who they was looking for, baby, they unalived him. This was in San Antonio in the daggone parking lot. So I know if people getting mowed down in San Antonio at the church, and let's not forget that Sutherland Springs incident, that is only 30 minutes away from San Antonio. It is only 30 minutes east of San Antonio. That's not that far from Lavernia. So that I'm just being real, and it was a huge thing. So they've had a lot of church situations in Texas. So I just think y'all got to be ready. And I'm not telling people to be alarmed, but I think you need to be alert. And I think people need to be alert, especially in this day and age. What's up, Fly Uchi? Ooh, all of the fly people coming in. I done seen Kimmy. I done seen Fly Uchi. I see S. Hutchinson. And I see all of y'all. I see Fly Uchi is doing a lot of traveling. Baby, Fly Uchi is doing her thing. I ain't mad at you, Fly Uchi. Well, look, you all, I'm going to end this, but I will be back later on. Peace and love, and y'all take care. I got to go. Peace and love. I'll talk to y'all later on.